With me is the travel and aviation expert Sally Gethin, and I'm also joined by Simon Calder, travel editor for The Independent. Hello to you both. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you here to answer some of the questions that our viewers have been sending in. And I've got the first one here for you, Sally. It doesn't say who this is from, but it says, I am planning to travel to Kos next week. I recognise I have to self-isolate for 10 days or on my return. However, if I pay, I only have to isolate for 5. Also, why aren't lateral flow tests acceptable as proof of being COVID-free on my return? I have been taking these tests twice weekly for months, but now have to have a PCR test twice at a huge cost when currently they're only needed if someone is showing signs of COVID.
Yeah, so right away there's conflict over this because, of course, the government hasn't really altered its messaging over the amber list, which Kos is on the amber list, Greece and the Greek islands. So, of course, from the government's point of view, do you really now need to travel to Kos anyway? Having said that, there's nothing really to prevent people from travelling to the amber list countries as long as they observe all the corresponding rules around that, which, as this viewer has pointed out, involves testing and then self-isolating for 10 days on return. Now, they've thrown up a lot of the typical frustrations around that test. So the PCR test is still the only acceptable test in terms of crossing into our borders into the UK officially. But this is rather at odds with what's going on in Europe, for example, where they're allowed to use lateral flow tests, which are very quick and a lot cheaper. But unfortunately, here in the UK, we do have to stick with that PCR testing, which is more expensive.
All right, okay. This is from